Howdy y'all, it's your favorite trainer with the belt buckle. Today we're going to help you pass the ACE CPT. Probably the second or third most popular certification worldwide, non-profit organization, American Council on Exercise. The on's kind of weird, but we're going to help you pass it. If you're not familiar with me, I'm that trainer with a belt buckle and giant biceps, can help you pass any certification. More importantly, I'm going to teach you to be educated. If you haven't read my book, How to Become a Successful Personal Trainer, over 150 5-star reviews with top trainers, therapists, coaches throughout the world on how to be successful. And it's not this piece of paper, it's an internship, hands-on learning. But don't worry, we're going to get you through this 800 pages, and we're going to focus on the most important chapter 10. Chapter 10, that's what you got to focus on. Focus on chapter 10. 150 questions, 125 are going to be counted. Chapter 10 has a ton. And so this is the overactive, underactive bullshit that you got to know in all these certs. Posture, you got to be perfect, and if you're not, you're going to die. Just understand what you need to pass this. Don't soak up the 180 pages. Sorry, 800 pages. You don't need that. Learn to trim out the fat, and that's what we're here for. We're online. We have classes that can help you pass. More importantly, we have in-person internships, Los Angeles, San Diego. I'm in La Jolla right now. It's nice and chilly out there. It's December day. We're also in Texas. We have weekend seminars. Get to one of those. That's how you're going to be successful. Start off with the book, though. So we're going to be on page 391. This is chapter 10, getting into the IFT, Integrated Fitness Training Model. If you're an NASM head, it's the OPT model. You got to have these stupid acronyms if you want to be cool. So IFT, here we go. We got the right side, which is fitness and muscular endurance, the left side, which is cardiorespiratory training, functional movement, and then you have your load and speed. Just think of it as basic, intermediate, advanced. That's what they want you to know. Posture is super, super important. So let's get into, I have a blog article on our website, showupfitness.com. Don't try to memorize the muscles with the overactive, or what they call them is the shortened and the lengthened. Just memorize which category they're in. You don't even know where they are. So for example, if I'm here, when I do this, a bicep curl concentrically, I've shortened this angle. This muscle is doing the work. Concentrically accelerated elbow flexion. So this is quote unquote tonic, as we want to say. So if I'm here, think of it the same way. These muscles are tight. Gotta be tight. It's going to be pec major, anterior deltoid, and also your lats pulling you in. The opposite are weak. We want to make those strong. So we want to inhibit these. We want to strengthen these. Internal rotation, external rotation. So if we look at here, this is our flexors, psoas major, tight. Opposite, weak. You want to strengthen, boom, your butt. Your glutes are what you need to strengthen. So we go this way. Here, you're tight with the adductors. So how would you even this out? Pull it out. Feel your muscles that are hard, your glutes. Woo-hoo-hoo, that's a hard muscle right there. Externally rotating. It's your glute max. So that's what we want to strengthen. When we're here, we got E version of the ankle. This is inversion, E version. We have internal rotation at the knees, internal rotation in the transverse plane at the hips. So we got to even it out by going here. So those are the 5 main compensations that you need to know. Tables 1, 2, and 3. Starting with the first one, I'll just say this. The pronation, just don't ever fucking tell your clients they have pronation distortion syndrome. I've been a trainer for 16 years, and I would punch myself in the penis if I ever said, pronation distortion syndrome. What? No, never do that. Don't even do these movement screens. They're stupid. To pass the test, I got you. Never do it. Let's see how you do this. Imagine that in sport. All right, I'm a basketball coach. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go swim, and I'm going to check you out and see how you do that. No, it's not relative to what we do. If you want to get a big ass, you hinge, you squat. You do things that are unilateral. Big chest, you push, you pull. You watch people move. I'm not going to go off on a tangent. You want to pass this. So for this first one, they're not going to ask you a lot on deviation 1 or the hip hike. hip hike, you have adduction there. They're not going to ask you much on that one. They're going to do more with the pelvis, anterior tilt. Show me that belt buckle, posterior tilt. So anterior tilt, these muscles are pulling you down, psoas major. These ones, the erectors, are pulling you up. These are great to have because then you can really look at the muscles and what they're doing, and it helps make more sense. So this is pulling you down, the psoas. On the posterior side, it's pulling you up, the erectors. Those are the tonic ones. I say this because I've done YouTubes with prehab guys, physical therapists. It's all old school bullshit, but we like to use it and scare people. So for this stuff, put that hat on, the ACE hat, and pass it, but don't ever use it in real terms because people will laugh at therapists and actual fitness professionals laugh at all this stuff, but we'll help you pass it. So here, psoas, here, erector. So the opposite, this is weak, hamstrings are weak. That's all you really need to know for that one. Nice little drawings. And then when you have the shoulder position stuff, pretty simple on those ones, don't worry too much. So the head position here, this is your extensors are going to be the ones that are tonic, and the deep flexors are going to be weak. If the flexors could pull you back, you'd be good to go. So the extensors are what are tonic there. That's going to be on page 406. Go through all that, and then the rest of the test you're going to get. So your dynamic balance. So this would be static, no movement. Dynamic, there's going to be movement. So the Y test, you're going to go forward, you're going to go back, and across. 3 checkpoints there. And then McGill's a stud. He has some really good low back disorders, some great literature out there. Kind of taboo with the pig and the disc that they tested. It was in a cadaver. And so McGill gets kind of beat up today with the information being maybe not as specific to human bodies because we're alive and everything's going to adapt, specific adaptation opposed to man. We don't need to freak out about, oh my God, I'm going to blow my back out. It's okay. Don't freak people out with movement. The body's going to adapt. If this is so bad for you, then why doesn't every single rower in the world have blown out discs or cyclists? They're in this flex position. It's not bad. I do all this stuff. I know it's annoying because I'm saying it to make myself feel better because I can't believe I'm saying this terminology because I would never talk like that to my interns in class or students online. I give them the actual current evidence, and this isn't it. But for you to pass this test, you need to speak in this language. So flexion is bad in this world. You got to make sure to protect against that flexion. So trunk, lateral, endurance, it's actually kind of a cool test. You can see how long they can hold you, put a little board behind them. Check that out. You need to know the exacts on the degreeing, which is 50 to 60 degrees. When you do a side plank, this is going to be more glute med test. When you straddle, it's going to be more QL, quadratus lumborum. And then you're going to have some ratios on that with the extensor test. See on page 418. Know the difference in the ratios with a 419 flexion, right side and right side bridge. So range of motion, shoulder flexion, we have 160 degrees. This, with extension, we're going to have 60 to 70. Abduction, we should have 180. And then we have external rotation, which will be 90. Internal rotation, 70 to 80. Thompson testing, you test your hip flexors, which you should be able to get to a minimum of 120 degrees. And then you look at the side bends. These are good screens to do. I don't do them like this. But if a client were to have back pain or something, I want to find out where that pain is. And then I want to eliminate that movement for the time being and just to coach them up on what pain really is, multifactorial. Not to freak out. We got some thoracic stuff, shoulder flexion extension I went over. You can do those in a prone position. Prone is going to be here. Supine, you're going to be open. So facing up, supine. This is the anatomical position. Supine, pronated will be like in a plank position. If you shoot me a message on Instagram or YouTube, Show Up Fitness Internship, or shoot me a message on our website, info@showupfitness.com, I can give you like I don't like NASM, but NASM has a nice sheet to help you memorize this stuff, and it will make it a lot easier. So when you do take the test, it's not as complex. Like this chapter 10 is what is this? How many pages? We're looking at almost. It's a good. Almost 100 pages. Don't read it. Just know what you're going to be tested on. It's like on 437, They're going to talk about winging. So your serratus anterior muscles, they need to be strengthened because you have that scapular winging. You can see that with the scaps coming out. And then you also want to strengthen your traps and your levator muscles. Rotation 1, 45 degrees on table 1020. That's all you really need to know on that one. Push-up scores, like those tables, you can get the norms, 446 and so forth. Increase your weight by 5 to 10%. Bench press for guys, body weight's average. For ladies, about 0.6 is average. The ratios in 1026 is good to know for shoulder, flexion extension, IR, and then flexion extension for the knee. If you don't know this table in 1025, it's good to know just for the ratios. 5 reps is 85%, 10 reps is 75%. Know the definition of power, force times velocity, or power is work over time. T-test, what that is, and 10 yards by 5 yards with the side shuffle, and that's all you really need to know. So big bulk of the 150 questions on the ACE certification is going to come from chapter 10. Most importantly, when you're done with this, whoop! Throw it away. You don't need it anymore. Focus on becoming a successful trainer. And that's going to be a mentorship, an internship, being able to ask questions. I really feel for y'all that are reading this and you're trying to interpret what's going on in these 800 pages. I've been a trainer for a long time. I work with some of the best in the game, therapists, doctors, professors, and I consult with them regularly. And stuff that I don't understand, which is a lot. I can reach out to them and ask them directly. Hey doc, what's this actually mean? Am I saying this word right? Am I pronouncing it right? I can ask those questions. You can't do that to a textbook. Our industry is fucked up because of the entry standards. People think that they're a professional because I lost 100 pounds. Don't get offended. Everyone in their jock straps and panties today, they get offended because I lost 100 pounds. I'm certified. I know what I'm doing. You do not. Our profession sucks with entry standards. We don't have any respect out there. That's what we're trying to change. We require our interns and you to a higher level. You should know the 17 muscles of the shoulder, the 40 around the hip, what these muscles are that flex and extend. And if a client were to come in, stay in our lane and make that referral out. Have RDs on your team, have therapists on your team. We want to be respected as an industry. And you're going to get that by working with the right professionals on your team, not getting more certifications. I understand you need one, maybe. I can help you get hired wherever you want to without a cert, because you got to know that gray area. I'm not saying education isn't important. Don't put words in my mouth on Reddit and all you fucks on YouTube trying to throw shade, as you call it today. I'm the biggest proponent in the world when it comes to education. And I, in my book, talk about why the average trainer who gets certified quits in the first year. 90%. This is interviews from Lifetime, Equinox, 24 Hour, Crunch, LA Fitness, all the top gyms out there. Why they fail? They don't have the foundation, anatomy, programming. So my number one goal, change the industry. Show up fitness, Los Angeles, San Diego, Austin, online, weekend seminars. But number two is to get you past this shit as quickly as you can. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, max. Do not spend more than 2 months. That's the deadline. 1 month will be like, okay, no more than 2. Get through this shit as fast as you can. Get into the right mentorship, internship, and you will become successful. Reach out to me. I'll get on a call with you. My number and everything's on Instagram, on social media. I'm the weirdo with the belt buckle, but you know what? I got giant fucking biceps so I can talk like that. Have a great day, y'all. Keep showing up.